Hello. Yeah, unfortunately, it's back to streaming time for all three of you who are watching. Hi, Swiss AVH777. Always nice to see someone actually talking in the chat, like I really like them to. So, what we're going to do today is location random attitude and see how that works, and see if I will be able to do something with that. It's always interesting to explore around because that thing will actually like basically yay send us around, uh, and that is really going to come. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I did have some engine failures from the last time when I tried this, and let's see if it works this time. Hopefully there's like something in the checklist that actually said that because yeah, the engine did was a little bit weaker than it's supposed to be since it. But let me fetch my headphones, which should really improve some of the audio quality. Here we go. And if you're asking why I'm back to streaming again, what's yeah, it turns out that the workload is actually kind of going up, and so I really let's go. We're going to climb to something like 3,000. Then we're going to start doing stuff. I might actually use Control U. Oh. Yeah, that's a bug that sometimes happens, and it will happen again once we actually use the menu. So, yeah, that's good. Keep this thing right now. Because the correct speed is on 3. Yeah, now we have 3 people watching because the interesting stuff is not going to happen for a while. We need to get to the altitude first. Now that we're actually up here, yeah, into mountain. Just a tap. However, we're going to be pivoting everywhere. Right turn. Up to the coastline. Yeah, dialogue popped up there that cut off the even with raising my head above the tower, I can't see what's going on ahead of me. Reaching 2,000 feet now. I'm going to stay in here a little while longer. Or right again. Just over there. Going to pass just left of them. Incredible. Let's start doing this stuff at like 3,000 feet. alright, it's getting time. Also, one of the things is that the moment you touch the menu, controls would actually deactivate due to a bug in FlightGear. So I'll have to double click on the yoke below in order to get control back, and then use another control. Right, it's time! It's time! And I'm about to shoot. And the first thing that happens is we stall. Okay, let's pick up some speed first before we. Whoops. Okay. But if it's weird that that's the first thing we got into. Let's actually get some speed first and what broke. Woo! After a great start, that was probably a spin that I forgot how to get out of. I remember something along with slamming the rudder, but to be honest, I don't remember. And I did try that just there, but and it didn't work. My ears low. Yeah, the buzzer. It gets really annoying when you want to like do some experiments. Actually well on our way to climb that. Though we might actually want to save time and use control U. Oh. Bye our beautiful wing. See how many see how many times we can do that. But anyway, just to save you guys time, let's actually control U. I want 3,000 feet because it gives me a lot of height margin. And as you might have noticed, the altitude indicator completely broke due to absolutely horrendous rotation. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you here. Right, it's time. This is what usually happens. It will just like get interrupted for a while and then just drop straight back down. So yeah, that spin is actually one of the most entertaining results that you could have got. Unfortunately, most of the time the springs back. This way, 50 seats, quite a few. Latitude. Here we have something interesting. The best stuff is when they actually try to do it. Okay, we are all speed, so let's go up. Oh, good God, that was like very high. Yeah, it looks like why is the horizon foggy? It's probably because of the weather thing. Actually, yeah, let me check. 9999, so it should be around 10. It should be around like 10 kilometers, but I guess that was a different weather was being used. Yes, there was fog. Because right now we do have problems with dust, aka PM2.5, and you know, that would actually really cap the visibility in the morning. But right now the latest report says it's 999, so we're good. That means 10 kilometers or more. Or even, I am not that good at English. Yeah, basically, there was fog, but I just checked that there is no longer fog. So when I refreshed and changed the weather, it turned back to quote-unquote normal. Yeah, one thing they should really learn to do here is try to speak slower. Oh, something broke there. Got completely lost multiple awareness here. Oh, here we go. Hey, I mean, how damage is it? Oh, the wings are gone! Yeah, the wing was gone. That's full. I'm not surviving that. Hello to an almost 1,000 feet per minute crash. The title's so last because because hello, I'm an Aviation Simulation TV. Basically, if you've seen what I did, I used the location random attitude button, which basically rotates the plane into a very random attitude, which could have sent me into a stall, which could have been one that sent me easily into a stall, into a spin, or like in this case, instantly rip both of my wings off and lift the pilot with nothing to do but wait for themselves to crash. That's why the title is like that. It's really, if you're doing an actual upset recovery training, you would probably get something that's a lot more. The teacher would probably try to keep the aircraft safe and to try to keep this kind of like, rip the wings off scenario from occurring. Actually, let's try to fly to start and see how it goes. Firstly, down, up. Controls still work to it. Is the plane like parachute? Fun behavior. What is the plane doing? Is it like parachuting down at 0 knots? Also, I have no control. Because, of course, I have no control because the airlines are completely gone. The elevators are not, but they do not give me much control apparently. Rip. Yeah, the wings are already broken since the last time. I was randomly checking how the aircraft behaves in this scenario. Apparently, FlightGear thought of Cessna without a wing actually works like actually has a few helium balloons attached to it, I guess. Let's actually try a few more. Just to show you how damaging this could be. Let's actually control you this up pretty high. And send it back up here. And try random attitude again. Right now it's actually just putting it into standard drive. But it could have been anything else. I mean, right now it's like that one. That one would have been really messy because aircraft is always sideways. Although I'm pretty sure it would have like corrected itself. This time though, it's a dart. Ow. And now, let's actually try this with the controls all the way up and control you and seeing what happens. Oh look, this is actually a pretty normal attitude, except for the fact that the angle of attack would have been horrendous. How many feet per minute are we dropping at? Like insane amounts. Because we actually are dropping. We are just somehow completely stable and we stayed. Also, the one wheel is not broken. I didn't know that. This looks like our Cessna is like parachuting down. This is interesting. Ow. That was like at 5,000. Now, let's actually go back up by pairing it. Up. If we can get going again from here. Now, common sense says we shouldn't be able to get out the road, but who knows? No, we couldn't get up from the road. But we have a secret weapon. Although with this one, we actually do have to make sure we don't. Already. yeah, I don't know what the proper recovery procedure out of spin is, but I guess it involves some sort of like, well, anyway, I might have to reset. Yeah, I'm resetting. This is a bit too messy for me personally. So, I'll be back in a few moments. Can you use a joystick with FlightGear? You can, and I was. In the, okay, the screen is going to go black for a moment while I change the aircraft. I actually used a joystick during the Mount Everest video. Sorry, not the Grand Canyon Trench Run. I think I used the joystick during part of that. However, I don't have a joystick with me right now, and two, I actually found it a lot more convenient to use the mouse because once you learn how to do it, it's just you can get planes a lot more stable. You can get things stable with joystick too, but with mine, it kind of defective. As I said, don't be surprised. The screen is kind of supposed to go black for a while. And we're back. Now, as you can see, we're loading in the Citation 10. Now, this menu is in the FlightGear Global section, so it will work with anything.
Welcome aboard. Need help? Use help tutorials.
What is good about the Citation 10 is that it actually
Ladies
enables
and
parking
gentlemen,
brake.
welcome aboard to Cessna Citation 10.
You know what I just realized? The desktop audio was really loud, so yeah, unfortunately, if sorry if any of you like can't hear me clearly because the plane engine is over drowning me. So I think it's just time to take off with this. Because you know the random altitude button, it will work with any plane. So time to bring this up to full and let her rip. Something engine fire or something. Oh no, probably just my headphones.
80 knots. V1, rotate.
Hello, air. Gear on flaps up. I'm actually going to manual the heck out of this. Because actually we've got this is the Citation 10 and it does have attitude hold. So we might be able to have some fun with that. This is my favorite flight airplane. Yeah, me too. It's just like simple enough to not be annoying like the actual airliners, and yet complex enough that you can actually have fun with it. Also, no failures. I mean, you can't actually crash. You can't, it doesn't have a crash module, so you can't have like GTA style fun, or let's just say what is it, Beam and G style fun, like in the C172P. However, this you can turn on and you can use my no crash script, and this thing is still going to give you a ton of fun. Approach mode is a bit hard to read. Yeah, I never actually used the approach mode on this. Because the way I actually use the approach, I did use the approach mode, but the way I did it is that I programmed the whole thing into the FMS, and then I do just let it transition automatically. That pretty much always works. Although the one thing I learned is that you do have to set the navigate heading correctly, otherwise it will just wrap itself. Throttle down. We're almost like 1,000 feet now, so. Oh, actually. Whew. because we're getting very close to overspeeding here. In fact, I might just want to use the autopilot now. Go and pitch, heading here. Heading. For altitude, I'm going to drop it down to 70 feet. Make it, paint it. The speed. And I want it to keep about 250. I don't think it's good speed. We could actually go a bit higher if we want it. For training, let's actually go ahead. Okay, I'm going to let the autopilot stabilize first, and then I'll assume that manual control, and then start the experiment. This plane doesn't break, but I still want to have some safety. Especially because, as you see, restarting FlightGear actually takes a time. Hi, R1BNC. Haven't played FlightGear in a while. OPC RIP. On the lessons. Hopefully you have some fun with the hour simulators out there. They're really fun. I guess. Okay. Government control. Random attitude. Oh. I haven't actually tested this. I only tested the C172P, but apparently that doesn't work. Is it seriously that broken that this only works under like YA sim? This is YA sim. The Cessna uses JSP sim, so I'm not sure if there's some kind of custom script that actually makes this work. To maybe that this doesn't work. So let's retry is that can the autopilot actually recover from weird altitude, from weird attitudes? Example, I'm just going to climb up. I have a lot of speed buffer. This is beyond operational range, and it's autopilot time. See how it will do. Right now it's doing heading on altitude mode, so now it pushes the nose back down. It wants to go to the 30. But still turning back. And that one's actually fairly sane. If a better FlightGear can run on anything, it just depends on what frame rate you get, that's the thing. Interestingly, I'm actually getting like about 20 frames per second, which is a bit on the low side even on my machine. Yeah, I guess the scenery is actually quite busy here. My thinking is that some peeps are actually... Okay, we're back. So it's time for the autopilot to turn off again. And it's time for some flipped over fun. If we can actually attain it, because we are 100% stalling before we get there, which is harmful. We don't want that. And in fact, hello, loss of control. Nice to meet you.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
And hello, overspeeding. Nice to meet you too. Hello, high G forces, absolutely making this impossible to sustain. Are you doing joystick or just keyboard and mouse? Usually, I'm keyboard and mouse. Like right now, you can see the actual indicator. It says that I'm on mouse. However, I do have a joystick and I sometimes use it. It's just that not often. Okay, I'm actually going to wait at this attitude for. We're back. We didn't even go invert. That isn't good. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is that we're actually going to flip invert using this side.
Bank angle.
The old
Bank
technique,
angle. Bank angle.
which works a lot better, as you can see here. Like pitching over is the old style, man.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
So we can actually climb in this
Bank angle.
scenario, although it might be a little bit hard to altitude hold.
Bank
I should
angle.
zoom out.
Bank
It makes this a
angle.
lot better.
Bank angle. Bank
So I'm going to cut down throttle a little bit.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Change the heading to this one, so the autopilot has
Bank angle.
a harder time, slightly harder time. Flying in Lenovo and when I fly in Boston, it gets under 10
Bank
FPS.
angle.
Sometimes it does if you turn on too many stuff too, and you need to be in some less busy place if you don't have like a strong computer. Maybe turn off some features like
Bank
OSM.
angle.
It's time for the autopilot to automate the turn back to normal flight.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Did it cut off?
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Hello, Death Dive. And it looks like the autopilot did cut off.
Angle.
Oh god, this is Air France 447 all over again. There we go. Hello.
Terrain.
Okay, by the way, I'm just going to control you up a bit. And one thing I have to do here, remember, is unset the crash flag, which is in here. And that will allow me to keep going. Okay, so now that we're actually back in envelope again, I'm going to get in a reconfiguration to lead off speed as fast as possible because I'm actually way over speed right now. You know, we just pulled an Air France 447 without stalling, actually flying like a dart down there. Now, what's the normal speed range? Ah, there we go. Now that we're in normal speed range, we can just rev things back. Oh, whoops. Yeah, so the autopilot actually kind of sort of knows how to get out of a spin, but quickly gives up and yeah, quickly gives up and leaves the pilot alone to deal with it. It's kind of almost like the plane tells the pilot, you brought it into this, you solve it. Hello? Okay. I'm just curious if the plane cut off. Actually, where are we? Oh, just North Phuket. Cool. Not too bad. This is actually manual flight here. Oh. You have any ideas for some other weird attitudes that we might put the plane under? How far are we? Are we like 20,000 feet up? Yeah, we're at 168. Pretty close to that.
Bank angle.
Speed up a bit.
Bank angle.
I don't. Matthew Gary says I don't get how people still buy FSX when planes like this Edition X, A320, Century Film YV, 777, and other so on are with it. I think the FMS on the PMDG planes are a tad better. I think they did actually get the money. And also, let's just say that Orbux gets their shader game right. I have access to a copy of FSX that has these things on it. But it's not mine, so I don't play it. And I'm stuck with this open source flight simulator that no one seems to be in the trend of playing. AP fail. There we go. So that means that our autopilot is basically saying, I give up. Autopilot going, I give up. Right, so what's the next thing? I'm going to change the autopilot again to make it go here and go to an altitude of maybe just 1,000. Because the next thing I'm going to go is I'm going to try actually arrowing down in a controlled manner.
Bank angle.
See how the autopilot reacts. Hello, blackout. No way. Turn on the speed. So the speed button is not here. Huh. Anyway, as expected, it did actually. Let's actually bring it up to 140 because it's pretty good here. And the speed setting was on 250. What are we at now? 320. I should get it up there. Also, I think quite a few people have some trouble installing scenery and aircraft. When you're at the tech support, you cannot see, and you cannot see the screen on the other side. That was like really hard, and I'm still figuring out what could be wrong. Stuff in mind, including firewalls and perhaps, sorry, I mean the antivirus blocking file access and all that stuff. Matthew Barry says FlightGear isn't eye candy, but it's a good sin. Just needs some time to catch up on things like lighting and scenery in places like North America. Yeah, I'd say that FlightGear's graphics game isn't going to sell anything. And that's actually what most people complain about. Most people will just clamor all over, FSX 2020's graphics. That's pretty much the only thing to talk about. The whole thing, their flight model has really improved as well. Next, 90-degree down dart. Probably going to be one of the last things in it here. Whoop.
Bank angle. Bank
I need to be able to dart.
angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
And now the autopilot's turn. AP fail.
Bank angle.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do this. You can do this. There we go. Again, proof that the autopilot really could do this. It's just screaming like, hey, I'm not built to do this. Actually, it knows how to bring the aircraft out of this. But it just... it was just not confident enough. R1BNC, from what I have watched, the MSFS 2020 does not have crash simulation. I'm actually surprised. FSX, the one I have tried, actually have a crash screen that's basically a game over. I love that. And even though it's not as fun, I don't remember as X-Plane 10 as a crash model, but I'm actually surprised that FS 2020 does not have crash model. Oh, we're dropping really low, that's why. I'm going to kick it down to 250 for now, and then I'm going to just kick it back up. Because right now we're too low. Radio setting for lineup on an approach. I'm by David Laddie. I'm assuming you're talking about the iOS. One thing that could go wrong is that the published frequency and the frequency used in FlightGear are different. In this map screen, you can actually find the actual frequency, which you can then put into the radio dialog. I don't know what the radio dialog in the 777 works in a practice landing for not in game. Is there even a practice landing for in FlightGear? I don't remember there being one, but Again, I don't fly the 777, and iTouchPass and his team could have done something with that. He is using the info from the map. Weird. What's the practice landing? Because I don't remember this kind of thing existing in FlightGear. And I don't fly the 777, so I don't know if that team has added it. But next, I'll actually try the inverted flight again. But yeah, before that, let's actually do a 90-degree bank turn and try to let the aeropilot recover from that.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Okay, so spamming the AP button here works. Matthew Barry says you might be stuck on the FMS mode. David says he's 20 miles away. Urban BNC said I think I've only landed with iOS once from all attempts. I don't remember how I did it. Yeah, on this one, as long as you actually have the runway in your flight plan and the frequency pre-tuned, it should transition automatically. Although in the 777, I don't know. In fact, it might not have the automatic transition. Or you're not supposed to use it. I don't know. So now it's doing a comfort turn. And the speed mode has turned itself off. FMS setting. Yeah, basically, you were still following the GPS instead of following the actual ILS. Which would have worked if the ILS didn't have like vertical information, which the GPS did not have. Give him some help. No. I'm actually going to give it some help here and get it back to altitude. And the last thing we're going to do this morning is going to try the inverted flight again, but I'm going to spam the autopilot button, which should hopefully mean that the autopilot should know how to get the plane back from, inverted flight. I know how to get back from it. It's pre-controlled, although abnormal. So the real question here is, can the autopilot do it for me? Because, as I said, the random altitude button does not work in this plane. So, we were stable. Time to do it.
Bank angle.
Oh,
Bank
whoops.
angle. Bank angle.
Okay, I think I slammed it a bit too hard on that one.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank
And again,
angle.
let's zoom out
Bank angle.
some more. Then I kind of have a clear view.
Bank angle.
And because we're climbing anyway, let's actually go.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank
I'm going to stay here for a while just to make sure things stabilize before I
angle.
now turn on the autopilot.
Angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Okay, it's autopilot time.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
seems to have a lot of trouble so far.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Bank angle.
What is it doing?
Bank angle.
Okay, I'm doing manual recovery of this.
Bank angle. Bank angle. Direct link rate. Up.
Yeah, it's too late. Hello, another AF445.
Terrain.
And ear rape.
Pull up. Pull up.
Right, so
Pull up.
I'm going to like save this flame and control unit up for now. Yeah, that didn't save it. Have to be a lot faster in doing that. First off, let's actually get it back inside a fairly normal flight envelope before I cut down the engines and lead us speed as much as possible. Yeah, so apparently the Citation 10 autopilot is so confused by the inverted flight that it didn't even know how to recover. And even if it tried, it just leads to an AF447, as it has no idea how to get away from that, and just keeps turning around. I might actually have better luck if I use the leveling setting instead of the heading setting, which is what I'm using right now, because it will stop the plane from like going crazy if it's spinning. And yeah, I think this is enough time spent harassing planes. And if you like my content, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I do try to put out something twice every month. Although yeah, sometimes it's going to be a live stream. So, until next time, goodbye. Have a nice flight.